Hi, in this video you will learn how to do batch operations with Python. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's look at the current state of the program. So the program is asking the user 3 times for entering input. So we have 3 functions here. But as we mentioned, this is not sustainable. So what we want is to write the input function only once and somehow tell Python to execute it multiple times. So how do we do that? Well, let me show you that to you. I'll delete all these, we don't need them anymore. We only need the input function once here, and then we make some space in here and we use a while loop. So this starts with this while keyword, and then make a space and you put a condition. The conditions should be a true statement. Now there are different ways to do this, but as a beginner, start with a simple statement such as 2 greater than 1. So is 2 greater than 1? Well, yes, that's true, always true. So then you put this colon. I'll talk about that more in just a bit. And after the colon, then you want to go here and you want to press space 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is known as indentation. So that part here for white spaces is indentation, and it is part of the syntax. So when you write this while keyword, whatever comes down here, all the code is indented under that while keyword. So in this case, what we want to do is we want to ask the user for input. So I'll execute this now and you'll see what will happen. But first, let me rename this variable from todo1 to todo. It makes more sense. And right click and execute. So enter a todo. Clean. Again enter a todo. Throw. Again meet. Free up Pluto. So we keep getting asked for to-dos over and over again, and this happens infinitely. Why does it happen infinitely? Well, because 2 is always greater than 1. So the way the interpreter, the Python interpreter, is executing this script is this. First, it executes this line, it stores the enter a to-do string to this variable, and then it checks if 2 is greater than 1. If it is, it executes this line. So we get that first prompt here, enter a to-do, and then the interpreter looks if there are other lines down here. If not, it goes back to the while loop, to the first line. Again, it checks if 2 is greater than 1. So it checks this condition. 2 is greater than 1, so it executes that line again. Enter a to-do. To understand this better, you can stop the program. Use this button to stop it. And then you can print out the to-do. And maybe print out next, like that, and execute. So enter a to-do, clean. So you see that Python executes this line first and then it prints out the to-do that the user entered. It prints out next, so that string, and then it goes back again to the first line. It executes that line again. That's why this is called a loop. It's a while loop. We also have for loops, which is another type of loop which we'll cover later on. We're gonna need a for loop also as we develop the program. Before we close this video, I want to change something from this program. there is a simple way to write a condition. So instead of thinking, oh, what is something that is true, Python has figured out a better way to just say true. So while true, execute this. So true is always true, just like 2 is always greater than 1, true is always true. So if I execute this program now, you can press that to rerun the program. So now we are running the new script with true there. So enter clean, and so you get asked for to-dos over and over again. So what is true? True is a boolean, is a data type. A boolean is like strings and lists. So that was a string data type, this is a boolean data type, and this here is a typical use of this data type. You can also have false here, false, but if we rerun the program, nothing will happen because false is false. So none of these lines will be executed. Therefore, the end version is while true, execute these. And that's about this video. So now the next step is to store these to-dos in a list. How do we do that? I'll show you in the next video. See you there.